I'm Ashley, 31 years old and a single mom to Emma, who is shy, sweet, and lights up the entire room when she's excited. For weeks she's been talking about her 4th birthday. I promised her a cake in the shape of a unicorn and she can't stop talking about it. I'm going to be 4 and I'll have a unicorn cake. I grew up with a younger sister, Rose, and all my life she's always been the center of attention. Our parents babied her, and now she babies her daughter, Maddie, who's 6. Maddie has turned into a mini Rose, expecting everything and everyone to revolve around her and her moods. For context, last year at Emma's 3rd birthday, Rose told me, "It's just easier to let Maddie blow out the candles. Emma's too little." Maddie had already thrown several tantrums by that point, and I didn't want a scene, so I let it happen. Emma was confused and sad, but too little to express it clearly. I have a memory of her standing there with her hands clasped, whispering, "I want to," that stayed with me. So this year I promised myself and Emma that it would be different. She was so excited about her cake, complete with pink frosting, purple swirls, and rainbow sprinkles. She picked out a sparkly pink dress, and I helped her secure her birthday crown, a cheap plastic tiara she got from the dollar store, but she treated it like it was made of diamonds. The morning of the party, Emma woke me up about 6 a.m., asking with a grin, "Mommy, is it my birthday?" She helped me frost cupcakes with smiles and excitement, leaving tiny fingerprints in the frosting. Every half an hour or so, she'd check on the cake in the fridge, just to make sure it was still there. I spent the morning decorating with streamers and balloons while Emma danced around with her stuffed unicorn, practicing the happy birthday song under her breath. We invited a few friends from preschool, my next-door neighbors, Grace and Bill, who have mentored me in being a new homeowner, and, of course, Rose and Maddie. I hesitated about inviting Rose after last year, but I thought, she's my sister, she's my only local family. I can't not invite her, and surely she won't ruin it. Rose arrived over a half hour late with Maddie, who immediately demanded a juice box and started going through Emma's toys. Rose didn't bring a gift, just said hello and then plopped down on the couch and started scrolling on her phone. Emma tried to play with her cousin, but Maddie kept grabbing toys and saying, "I'm using this," making Emma eventually retreat to my leg. I tried redirecting Maddie with snacks, but she threw a fit because I didn't have the exact fruit snacks she wanted. When it came time for the cake, Emma's eyes were sparkling. She whispered to me, "I blow out the candles, right, Mommy?" I said, "Of course, baby, it's your day." She was practically vibrating with excitement, standing in her birthday dress while everyone gathered around the cake. I started lighting the candles, and that's when Rose loudly said, "Oh, let Maddie help blow out the candles. She's the big cousin." I looked at Rose and said, "No, this is Emma's birthday. She's been looking forward to this for weeks." Rose scoffed and said, "Don't be dramatic, Ashley. It's just candles." I ignored her and started singing Happy Birthday with everyone joining in. Emma was beaming, her little hands gripping her stuffed unicorn, her eyes fixed on the candles. Suddenly, Maddie pushed in front of Emma, trying to get closer to the cake, knocking Emma slightly backward. Emma looked up at me with big, worried eyes, but kept standing there bravely. I gently pulled Maddie to the side and said into her ear so she could hear me above the singing, "Not right now, sweetie, it's Emma's turn." Maddie's face immediately twisted, and she screamed, "It's not fair," while stomping her foot so hard that the table shook a little. Rose yelled over everyone singing, "Just let her do it, Ashley. Stop being selfish." I tried to keep singing with everyone, determined not to let them ruin it. Just as we reached the end of the song, Rose leaned over the table and blew out the candles herself. She smiled smugly and said, "There, problem solved." Emma's face fell. Her lips started to tremble, tears pooled in her eyes, and then she burst into tears, sobbing, "It's my cake," clutching my leg while hiding her face. I picked her up, hugging her tightly while she cried into my shoulder. I looked at Rose and said, "Are you serious right now? You just ruined her birthday moment." Rose rolled her eyes and said, "She's 4, Ashley. She'll live. Maddie would have had a meltdown if Emma was the only one allowed to blow them out." I said, "You're teaching Maddie she can spoil other people's moments and get away with it." Rose said, "You're being ridiculous. You're selfish." Emma was still crying, and the other kids were standing there awkwardly, not sure what to do, their parents equally ill at ease. So I carried Emma into the kitchen to calm her down, promising we would fix it. She clutched her unicorn against her chest, tears visible on its sparkly mane. "I want it too, Mommy," she said, hiccuping. "It's my cake." "I know, baby, I know," I said, rubbing her back. "It's your birthday, and you get to blow out your own candles." She nodded, calming down and wiping her tears. Meanwhile, in the living room, I could hear Rose laughing with another guest, saying, "She's overreacting, it's just candles." Maddie's shrill voice was demanding snacks, yelling, "I want something else." I took a deep breath, stood up, and carried Emma back to the dining room. Everyone was awkwardly trying to talk, kids sneaking bits of the frosting as the cake sat there with the blown-out candles melted down. Rose was back on her phone, smirking. I announced, "We're going to sing again and let Emma blow out her candles." Rose sighed loudly. "Ashley, just let it go." "No," I said firmly, "it's her birthday." I pulled out the candles, replaced them with fresh ones I thankfully had in a drawer, and relit them while Emma stood there, small but determined. We started singing again, and this time I noticed Maddie inching closer, her eyes narrowed, her hands balled into fists at her sides. Halfway through the song, she lunged forward, trying once again to get to the cake. I moved quickly, stepping in front of her, blocking her from reaching it. Maddie started shrieking, "Let me blow them out!" and tried to shove past me, hitting her fists against my legs. I didn't move, keeping my eyes on Emma, who was now biting her lip, trying to focus on the candles. Rose yelled, "Ashley, let her blow them out!" I ignored her. Our singing came to an end, and I watched Emma take a deep breath, tears still drying on her cheeks, and blow out the candles. They flickered, went out, and the room erupted in a small, polite cheer. Emma's face lit up with a big, relieved smile as she clapped her hands, saying, "I did it!" Maddie let out a scream like a siren and dropped to the floor behind me, kicking and screaming, "It's not fair! It's not fair!" Rose went over, trying to comfort Maddie by saying, "I know, baby, Aunt Ashley's being so mean." I was trying to keep calm, smiling and hugging Emma, saying, "Happy birthday, honey," trying to ignore the scene behind me. Then Maddie, still hollering, stood up and lunged past me toward the cake, her tiny fist raised like she was about to punch it. I reached out quickly and grabbed her wrist mid-swing, stopping her an inch before she smashed the cake. She started flailing, screaming, "Let me go!" and twisting, trying to hit me with her free hand. Rose screamed, "Don't you dare touch my child!" and rushed over, yanking Maddie away from me so hard that Maddie fell backward onto the floor and started screaming even louder. "She was about to destroy the cake, Rose," I said loudly over the yelling. "She's a child, Ashley, and you're traumatizing her," Rose shouted, glaring at me. Other parents had begun quietly gathering their kids and slipping out, one of them whispering, "I'm so sorry," to me before leaving. I handed cupcakes to them all, trading my apologetic looks for their looks of sympathy, Maddie's tantrum ongoing all the while. Grace and Bill, who I always felt had taken me under their wing, were standing there looking resolute, like they intended to stick by my side. I took a deep breath, comforted by their presence, trying to calm my shaking hands. I said, "Rose, you need to leave, now." Rose ignored me, scooping Maddie up, settling her on her hip, trying to give her a hug. Maddie started shrieking, "I want a present! I want a present!" Rose looked at me expectantly and said, "Go ahead, let her open a present. It will calm her down." "No," I said, "those are Emma's presents." "You're so selfish, Ashley," Rose snapped. "She's 6, and you can't let her have one present?" "You didn't even bring a gift for Emma," I pointed out. Rose shrugged, adjusting Maddie on her hip as Maddie screamed into her shoulder, "I want a present!" Before Rose could say anything else, Maddie slipped out of her arms, ran to the present table, and began ripping at the wrapping paper on a pink box that Emma's preschool friend had brought. I rushed over, took the present from her, and began grabbing other presents, Grace helping me to move them quickly into another room. Emma followed me, tears beginning to well in her eyes again, saying, "Mommy, does she get to have my presents?" "No, baby," I answered. "You can share your new things with her the next time she comes here to play, but these are your presents for your birthday." I closed the door on the room with the presents, catching the expressions of unbelievable and OMG on my neighbors' faces. I thanked them over the din of Maddie screaming. I came back into the living room and reiterated, "Rose, you need to leave, now." Rose looked up and said, "No, we're not leaving until you and Emma apologize for ruining Maddie's day." I blinked. "What?" "You heard me," Rose said, standing up. "You've humiliated Maddie. You blocked her. You physically grabbed her. You hurt her feelings. And you need to teach Emma to share." I took a deep breath. "I'm not apologizing," I said firmly. Rose crossed her arms. "Then we're not leaving." I pulled out my phone, saying, "If you don't leave in the next 5 minutes, I'm calling the police to remove you from my home." Rose's eyes widened. She scoffed. "You wouldn't dare." "Try me," I said, pulling up the keypad. Rose glared at me for a long moment before turning to Maddie, who was still pounding on the floor, screaming, "I want a present! I want a present!" "Come on, Maddie," Rose snapped, dragging her up from the floor. Maddie screamed, trying to twist away. "No, I want to stay." Rose snatched a chocolate cupcake as a bribe and managed to get Maddie to move toward the door. As they were going out, Maddie screamed at me, "You're mean! I hate you! I hate you!" Her mother followed that up by yelling, "You're a selfish bitch, Ashley," before slamming the door so hard the windows rattled. I stood there in the silence that followed, my heart pounding, the house a mess, wrapping paper scraps on the floor, plastic cups and half-eaten cupcakes abandoned all over the place. Once Rose's car had left, Bill put his hand on my arm briefly, murmuring, "I'm so sorry, Ashley." Grace gave me a hug and offered to help me clean up, but I said I should focus on Emma now and clean later. I thanked them again, and they left to their house next door. Emma peeked up at me from behind my leg, looking small and scared. I knelt down, brushing her hair back, fixing her birthday crown, and said, "It's okay, baby. It's still your birthday, and you have presents to open." She looked at me and asked quietly, "Can we still have cake?" "Yes, sweetie, we can still have cake." We cut the cake, just the two of us, sitting together on the floor, eating it straight from the platter with forks. Emma smiled a little, her eyes still slightly puffy, and said, "This is the best cake ever, Mommy." That night, after the chaos, after Emma fell asleep with her stuffed unicorn in her arms and her birthday crown next to her pillow, I sat in the kitchen staring at the leftover cake. The frosting was smudged and there were little finger gouges in the side, where Maddie had tried to grab a chunk before we ever sang happy birthday. My phone buzzed, and for a moment I thought it might be Rose texting to apologize. But instead, it was a flood of notifications from TikTok. Apparently, Rose had decided to post a video titled, "My sister physically harmed my daughter because she wanted to blow out a candle. #family drama, #storytime. In the video, Rose was fake crying, holding Maddie in her lap. Maddie had chocolate smeared on her cheek, probably the cupcake from my house, and Rose told the camera, "My poor baby just wanted to blow out the candles with her cousin, and my sister grabbed her and threw her down, and she's traumatized now, and I don't know what to do." She added, "All because she couldn't share one candle with her cousin." Comments were flooding in. OMG. Who TF does that to a child? She sounds like a monster. I'd have called the police if it was my kid. Your sister sounds toxic AF. I sat there feeling my stomach sink and my heart race, reading people calling me a monster when all I had done was protect my daughter on her birthday. Then I saw that Rose had posted Maddie's Amazon wish list in her bio, with the caption, "If you want to help cheer Maddie up, here's her birthday list. Broken heart emoji, sad face emoji." It made me sick. I checked Rose's page and saw that she had posted 4 videos back to back. Her crying with Maddie saying, "My baby can't sleep because of her evil aunt." Another zooming in on Maddie's sad face with sad music. One explaining how Ashley is jealous of my daughter because Maddie is prettier. And a video explaining, "I should have called the police, but I didn't want to ruin my sister's life." I felt like the floor was falling out from under me. She was turning strangers against me, all while Emma was sleeping, clutching her unicorn, having no idea her aunt was destroying me online. My phone started blowing up with texts from family members. "What happened at the party?" "Rose is saying you hit Maddie?" "Please call me ASAP." "Did you really hurt Maddie over a candle?" I sent a single text to our group family chat. "I did not hit Maddie. I stopped her from punching Emma's cake and asked them to leave after their behavior put an end to Emma's birthday party." But it didn't matter. Rose's videos were getting thousands of views, and people were sending me DMs telling me I was toxic, that I was a horrible mother, that Emma would grow up to hate me. I sat there a long time, the kitchen quiet except for the buzzing of my phone. I felt rage and fear and heartbreak all at once. Then I remembered, I have cameras. I have a security camera in my living room, facing the dining area where the cake was. I pulled up the footage, and there it all was. Maddie lunging for the cake. Me stepping in front, arms out, blocking her without touching her. Maddie screaming, hitting my legs with her fists. Maddie lunging with her fist raised to punch the cake. Me catching her wrist, stopping her just before she hit the cake. Rose yanking Maddie away, screaming at me as Maddie landed on the floor, put there by her own mother. I sat there watching it over and over, making sure there was no moment where I'd been rough, no moment where it could be twisted. But there just wasn't. I decided to post a video right there and then, something I would never have wanted to do about a matter this personal, but I felt I had to defend myself. I posted, "Here's what really happened when my niece tried to blow out my daughter's birthday candles." And I uploaded the camera footage, side by side with Rose's video, in a duet. I added, "I didn't hit Maddie. I protected my daughter's birthday. Please stop sending me threats." I posted it and turned off my phone. The next morning, thanks to Rose's own videos going a bit viral, my reply video already had a massive 80,000 views and was climbing fast. People were tagging Rose in the comments. "Girl, we see the receipts." "You lied about your sister hurting your kid. Disgusting." "You owe your sister and your niece an apology." "Everyone go apologize to @Ashley for believing Rose's lies." My DMs flipped overnight from hate to people apologizing for the nasty messages they had sent. "I'm so sorry. I didn't know. Your sister is messed up." "Thank you for sticking up for your daughter." "I'm a mom too, and I would have done the same." Meanwhile, Rose posted another video, trying to backtrack. "I didn't say Ashley hit Maddie. I said she hurt her feelings. Everyone is twisting my words." People flooded her comments. "Nah, you said she physically hurt her." "We saw the video. You're lying." "Take accountability." "Girl, your kid needs discipline, not presents." "You owe your niece a birthday do-over." Rose ended up turning off comments, but she didn't delete the videos, presumably because she was making money from the views. Meanwhile, Emma and I spent the morning playing with her new toys in peace, having leftover cake for breakfast. She was so happy when I told her people online were saying she had every right to blow out her candles. "They said that?" she asked. "They're happy?" "Yes, honey, they're happy you had your birthday candles," I told her. I got texts from family again, this time different. "Saw the video. Wow." Rose was out of line. "Sorry for believing her. I didn't know." Rose, however, texted me. "You're a psycho for posting your niece online. You're exploiting her for clout. Take it down." I replied, "You started this. You lied. This ends now." She didn't reply. That afternoon, Rose's husband, who hadn't come to the party at all, called me. He was quiet for a moment, then said, "I'm sorry for what Rose did. Maddie's having a hard time with boundaries, and I'm working on it with her. I just wanted you to know I don't support what Rose did online." I thanked him and we hung up. It didn't fix everything, but it helped. Over the next few days, people kept sharing the video, and I had moms DMing me to say, "Thank you for showing it's okay to protect your child's boundaries. Your daughter will remember you stood up for her." And "You're a good mom." Meanwhile, Rose's friend group started turning on her when they saw the video. She lost followers, and her comment section was filled with people asking why she lied. She posted a cryptic TikTok. "Fake people will always try to bring you down when you're shining." But people weren't buying it. Emma and I planned a small redo celebration, just us, with a few leftover cupcakes, a movie, and her blowing out candles again on her own, singing happy birthday to herself in her tiny voice, smiling the whole time. It's been about 2 weeks since the birthday, and Rose still hasn't apologized, but she has stopped posting about it. Maddie hasn't seen Emma since, and to be honest, I'm not in a rush to change that. Emma tells everyone about her birthday, but she doesn't mention the screaming. She says, "My mommy let me blow out my candles 2 times," with a huge grin. And that is all that matters to me. Thank you for joining me for this story. If you enjoyed this reading, please hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss future uploads. Leave us a comment and let us know what kind of story you'd like to hear next. This has been Tales by Rachel, where we breathe life into every story.